Hello everybody and welcome back to Connor here, and we are back with your second piece of content throughout the day. Third, if you are part of a Patreon membership. If you are not part of the Patreon, guys, there is a link in the description below for extra content every single week. So this is Late Night Leeds, and it's coming to you for the final day of the week on your Friday, so I hope you thoroughly enjoy this one. And what better way to round off your week than with a Late Night Leeds on Pablo Hernandez. Now, we know El Mago's had an absolutely incredible career, and he's been an absolute godsend for Leeds United. For me, the best player that we've had outside the top flight. He's just been mesmeric. He's been incredible. He's been incredulous in everything that we've done, especially this year. Last year, he was phenomenal, and he's hitting the ripe old age of 35. So what better way to communicate and to commemorate Pablo? Obviously, he's not passing on or anything, but to make his name be elevated than to do a Late Night Leeds on him. But yeah, so Pablo Hernandez, obviously in 2007, he was signed to a 6-year deal by Valencia. Now, what an incredible deal that is. Obviously born in Castellón as well, which is where he owns his football club now, but bought by Valencia for a 6-year deal. So the potential of Pablo Hernandez and what people saw in him was clear from an extremely young age. It's an even bigger bargain for Valencia during the time. So what they basically got was a young Pablo Hernandez who they rebought from Getafe for only 1 million in July 2008. So yeah, incredible scenes, and they got him for 1 million. Obviously, we got him for a free, but this was prime Pablo Hernandez, and he went on to incredible things in La Liga and the Premier League. Straight away, Hernandez was thrown into it in a game against Rosenborg in a UEFA Cup game, and he scored his first goal in a 4-0 victory, an absolute screamer, a lovely finish. And by this point, straight away, everybody, the pundits, the journalists, have been looking back and doing a little bit of archive research, and they could see the potential in Pablo Hernandez. And straight away, coming on essentially your debut and scoring in the UEFA Cup, it just set the precedent for what an incredible player he carried on being. He was on a bit of a weird trajectory, really, was Pablo Hernandez, because it was either him or Joaquin, who played for Valencia at the time. We'll all remember Joaquin. I mean, what a brilliant player he was. But it was between him and Pablo in that cam role or on that right-hand side. He was normally on that right-hand side because back in the day, he was actually a nippy, tricky and quick winger as well. So yeah, it was between him and Joaquin who got that spot. And Pablo Hernandez, when it got to sort of 2008, 2009, was establishing himself as a quality player. He was getting assists, he was getting goals. He won Valencia the game against Barcelona, against that absolutely incredible Barcelona side. Valencia got an incredible 2-1 home win. Pablo Hernandez with the winner, got the winner as well against Sevilla, and he was firmly, in 2009, a complete replacement for Joaquin and was linking up extremely well with Juan Mata in that Valencia squad. And his career at Valencia just kept getting better and better and better. In the UEFA Cup, he was scoring goals for fun. He scored against Club Brugge in both legs. He also scored against Rosenborg, as I just mentioned. He scored against Kiev. He was just scoring for Valencia, and he was making them absolutely pronoun. And he was, he's developing his name as well. Pablo Hernandez was becoming a big name. I mean, back then, I remember hearing about his name as well. He was scoring in Europe. He was scoring for fun. And his name just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this was made absolutely solidified for me when he scored against Manchester United. He scored in the home leg against Manchester United. The overall leg tie was 1-1, but Pablo got the first goal and put the Shea ahead. And for me, Valencia was the coming of age of Pablo. Obviously, he was very young at that point, but he was getting into his prime as well. And for me, that's where he hit his dizzy heights. That's where I knew about Pablo Hernandez. That's where him and Joaquin were having this absolute notorious battle for that spot on the right-hand side /CAM role. And it was really, I remember seeing it. I remember seeing Pablo play as well. And I believe at that point as well, there might have been a cross with sort of David Silva there as well. So, I mean, what a team Valencia had. An incredible team, and Pablo was part of that, and he really got himself within that mould in La Liga as one of the best attacking midfielders /wingers in the league, really. He obviously made his move in 2012 to Swansea, which is obviously where he's made his name in England, and he had a really good tenure at Swansea. What I didn't actually realise from doing a bit of research was actually it was a 6 million record club fee for Swansea to get Pablo Hernandez. And it paid off. He was getting assists for fun, getting goals for fun, and he did a really good job down at Swansea. And obviously, he was part of the team that won the Football League Cup 5-0 against Bradford as well. So Pablo made his name down there, a club record fee at the time, and I think at Swansea, he will be remembered for some good times. Now, he also signed in 2015 to Al Arabi. Now, this was a bizarre signing because Hernandez would have been, what, 29, 30. He still had so much in his locker, as we've seen as Leeds fans with Pablo Hernandez, with what he's done at Leeds from, what, 30, 33, 32 onwards. He's been incredible for Leeds. And when he went to Al Arabi, it was a very bizarre signing, but they got him. It was a 3-year contract. He went out there. Clearly, Pablo thought maybe he was going to get potentially a decent paycheck and play in a different climate, a different culture as well. But in a season afterwards, in 2015, he was actually loaned to Spanish counterparts, Rayo Vallecano. Now, he went to Rayo Vallecano, the team just on the edge of Madrid, and he was actually relegated with the Rayo Vallecano side. And obviously, you could see Pablo's tendency that he wanted to come back into the European sphere after being at Al Arabi, and this made Leeds United's ears pick up, and that's where we made our move. Now, I remember his debut very well for Leeds United. He was in a 2-1 loss to Birmingham, but I was actually part of the Leeds fan base that went down to Cardiff. I believe it was when we beat them 2-0, and Pablo just belted it. It wasn't even a belt. It was a beautiful finesse curl into the top left-hand corner, and that's where we saw the real sort of prowess of El Mago. And yeah, he bent it in the top corner. It was his first goal. One of those for Leeds United, like he always does, or maybe it's one fist, I can't remember, or one wrist, sorry. But yeah, and that was when we first saw the prodigal son make his name at Leeds, and he went on to just great things. Now, in his first campaign with ex-player, player Gary Monk, who he played with Hernandez at Swansea, he picked up an injury. He picked up an injury at the famous 3-2 win down at Carrow Road, which saw Leeds go into the top 6, and he was actually out of sorts for around about 2 or 3 months. He made his return in December, and Leeds went on from there, and Pablo playing a key role in Gary Monk's campaign at Leeds United. Now, on May 17th, 2017, Pablo Hernandez signed a 1-year deal, which would obviously take him into 2018. But a lot of turmoil during that time, obviously, with Thomas Christiansen, with Heckingbottom. Pablo was a feature, but you could tell he wasn't under, there were so many points in that period where he could have left Leeds. He signed the deal, but there was so much turmoil between managers. The ownership was changing from Chileno. It was changing from Chileno to Radrizzani. He didn't really know what was going on. Slight instability at the club, which had followed Leeds round for the best part of 20 years, and Pablo easily could have left in that period, even with a 12-month contract. When the magic man Marcelo Bielsa came into the play, this is where he hailed Pablo Hernandez a better player. He makes him a better manager because of how good he is. He hailed him as, I quote, the complete footballer. And Bielsa, what wonders Pablo has done for Bielsa. Bielsa's obviously done wonders for him. He's brought Pablo's game on, which he has. He's brought Pablo's game on there, especially last season and the end of this season. But wow, I mean, those two as a partnership have just elevated Leeds to the next level. Pablo being that complete footballer, Bielsa nurturing him in certain ways. And this man who was 32, 33, once again could have left Leeds. He could have left. He could have thought, no, I'm not getting into that training regime, getting into that training schedule, that vigorous way that Bielsa puts them through. Murder ball. Pablo's still keeping up with the kids, the 18, 19, 16, 17-year-old kids. Pablo's still there in the mouse. He works back. He tracks for the team. You never see any sort of downplay in his stamina. He just keeps going and going and going. And he's bought into the Bielsa way as much, if not more, than anybody in that squad. Last season, in the 2018-19 campaign, he was voted as in the PFA team of the season. He was just instrumental, brilliant, double figures in assists, double figures in goals. He was absolutely paramount in everything Leeds United did, and what a season he had. This season, it wasn't as great for Pablo, but at the same time, Bielsa was nursing him post-lockdown because of his injury, but he'd come on in every second half. And imagine if you just faced Tyler Roberts, you just faced Costa, Click, Calvin Phillips, Bamford, Harrison, and then you saw Pablo Hernandez warming up to come on for the second half, and he was just instrumental in that post-lockdown campaign and fired Leeds, for me, to promotion with that winner against Swansea. And literally, listen, I'd build a statue of the guy. I absolutely love him. What an incredible man. What an incredible service he's done for Leeds United. And I cannot wait to see him linking up with Rodrigo in particular in the Premier League. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this version of Late Night Leeds. This has been all about Pablo Hernandez. If you are new to the channel, please like, comment and subscribe. This Late Night Leeds is going to be 3 times a week. We've got more content coming for you tomorrow and Sunday. So guys, stay clocked in with In Full Swing, and I'll see you in a bit.